poison is being released in the air, and this could potentially be linked to turbocharged diseases that we are seeing all across the country, okay? These two things have high correlation. I'm not saying that this is what's happening, but there is poison being released in the air, and you've probably seen it. This is a new thing that they just announced that they've already been doing, but now they are admitting it, and they are ramping up this program and releasing this poison into the air that could potentially turbocharge these certain diseases.
The city is applying pesticides to reduce the threat of the West Nile virus. To minimize exposure to the pesticide, please go indoors immediately until the trucks have passed. The city is applying pesticides to reduce the threat of the West Nile virus. To minimize exposure to the pesticide, please go indoors immediately until the trucks have passed.
All right, this is very dangerous what they're doing to our earth, to our environment, and to our health right now. All right, this is something that everybody needs to say no to, and you need to have HEPA filters on your home, okay? On your home AC system, have a HEPA filter that fits your size, have a carbon filter, have stuff that is capturing these chemicals that are being released into the air right now. All right, and we keep getting different ones. All right, there's always new chemicals being released and sprayed, and now they have an entire new agenda, a new program that, from research that's being done, this could potentially turbocharge diseases and potentially even Alzheimer's. All right, so we're going to dive into all this stuff, get into all the data here. They're also saying that this could even make things a lot worse. All right, they're saying that this could potentially cause an ice age, what they are doing as well. All right, that's what they are admitting in the New York Times right now. All right, so this is something that we need to stand up to, we need to say no to, because they are going to keep thinking of, and they already have them, and they're going to keep releasing new toxic chemicals onto us and new toxic things. And this is entering the territory of even nanobot technology that could potentially be inside of this stuff that is being released. This is exactly what nanobots are made of, okay? And that's what they use for nanobots, is this exact stuff that they are now releasing onto the public, okay?
The record number of fires burning across Brazil's Amazon rainforest has prompted renewed global outcry over climate change. And big spending. $5 million from Leonardo DiCaprio, £10 million from the UK. Meanwhile, Bill Gates is backing the first high-altitude experiment of one radical climate change solution, creating a massive chemical cloud that could cool the Earth. It's called solar geoengineering, and it's highly controversial.
How long will it be that countries keep experiencing these climate impacts before someone gets desperate and says, hey, we need to cool the planet with solar geoengineering?
It would look something like this. Thousands of planes would fly very high and use nozzles to inject millions of tons of light-reflecting particles into the stratosphere. It would create a thin chemical cloud of those particles around the whole planet, blocking some sunlight from reaching the surface. It would mimic a giant volcanic eruption, which we know cools the Earth. Back in 1991, Mount Pinatubo erupted in the Philippines. It was the largest eruption to affect a densely populated area, creating avalanches and giant mud flows that left more than 700 dead and 30,000 homeless. It also spewed a cloud of 20 million tons of sulfur dioxide particles into the stratosphere. That chemical cloud was hundreds of miles across and reflected about 2% of sunlight back to space. And in 1992, the Earth was cooler than in 1991.
That is part of the mechanism, but you do this in a controlled way.
Modelling studies have found that it could reduce the intensity of heat waves, for instance. Apparently it could reduce the rate of sea level rise. It could reduce the intensity of tropical storms.
But it also comes with significant risks and uncertainties.
Things like mass famine, mass flooding, drought, of kinds that will affect very large populations.
It could weaken monsoons in India, China, and Africa enough to affect crops.
It's inside of us. I want to tell you about love and loneliness. But it's getting late now. Can't you hear outside of your supreme hoodie the wind that's beginning to howl?
Not everyone is coming to the future. Not everyone is learning from the past. Not everyone is coming to the future. Not everyone that's here is gonna last.
And if you saw my video a couple weeks ago, there was toxic dust coating everything, coating everyone's cars, coating everyone's homes and everything, right? And they're saying it was this Saharan dust. But now, a couple weeks later, in the New York Times, they come out and say, we're actually releasing this toxic chemical dust into the air right now, and it's potentially linked to all these diseases and all this stuff, right? So,
mask. Mask! Put them on now! Right! And now comes the part where I relieve you, the little people, of the burden of your failed and useless lives. But as my plastic surgeon always said, if you gotta go, go with a smile.
Smilex gas. He's going to kill everybody!
Get in the car.
No!
Get in the car!
No!
this is something that we need to say no to. We need to fight back from, because it affects everyone. This is affecting the crops. What they're warning of as well is, what they're really saying is that this could eat up all of the CO2 in the atmosphere for all the plants and actually highly inhibit the plant growth as well too. Okay, this could stop plants from growing on Earth as well. And they even admitted in their own documents in the New York Times, what they're saying as well, they are going to continue with this program and keep releasing this poison into the air. All right, so this is serious. This is a new one, and they keep doing this. They keep releasing these heavy metals, and we are breathing them in, and they are accumulating in our body. So right now they are making articles in the New York Times saying that they are ramping up this program to release iron nanodust into the environment, and they're saying it's going to reverse and change all of the stuff that is going on. Okay, and iron accumulation is actually linked in heavy metal accumulation right here. This is on NIH.gov website right here. It says there's an imbalance in iron homeostasis in AD. Excessive iron contributes to the disposition of B amyloid and the formation of neurofibrillary tangles, which in turn promote the development of AD. Okay, this is on the NIH website right here. And they are now saying that they are releasing this iron nanodust into the environment. And they also use iron nanodust for nanobot technology to receive EMF receivers, and that's how they move around. Okay, they move around by getting microwaves into them remotely, and that's how the nanobots move around. Okay, they use this for medical things.
So in this case, what we do, we administrate the nanoparticle intravenously. So we give one painless shot an hour before the treatment. The shot is similar to the typical flu shot we all use in there. And when the particles get in the blood system. We can see them on the screen of our computer. We know where they are. We can wirelessly make them go any way we want. We can see the circuit in the brain. We can zoom it in with the precision of 1 neuron, if necessary.
First came the internet, the good old W, and then the Internet of Things, our light bulbs connected to our automobiles, to our coffee makers, our pacemakers. And then came the tangle. A trillion semi-intelligent nanobots filled the air, the soil, our blood, a hard drive grown in our brains, and everyone was connected, and violence eliminated.
I go to strike someone, my arms would freeze. It would be impossible for I or anyone to kill someone.